Okay, look, it has been one of the most insane weeks in the history of AI. Seriously, the pace right now is just relentless. And if you blinked, you probably missed something that is going to fundamentally change the game. We're going to break down everything you need to know from this truly historic week so you get exactly what happened and why it matters. All right, let's just dive right in.
So let's start here. Take a look at this. I'm sure you've seen this infamous, kind of goofy AI-generated video from not that long ago. We all had a good laugh about it, right? Remember this?
And then there's this. This was generated this week. The realism, the audio, the way his face stays consistent, it is a complete quantum leap. I mean, this is a level of quality we have just never seen before. And that massive jump is exactly what we're talking about today. We're your guides through all this crazy, rapid change. I'm David.
And I'm Sarah.
And as the AI Show team, our job is pretty simple. Cut through the noise and tell you what really matters. Okay, first up, let's talk about that mind-blowing video. A brand new model just dropped that has completely reset everyone's expectations for what AI video can actually do. So what is this thing? It's called Seed Dance 2.0, and it comes from ByteDance, the company that makes TikTok. And that makes perfect sense, right? They've basically built a tool that can generate these stunningly realistic videos and audio with some of the best, most natural lip syncing we have ever seen. But here's what's really interesting. It's incredibly flexible. You can feed it text, a picture, an audio file, or even another video to get started. No other model out there can do all of that right now. You combine that with the fact that it keeps characters looking consistent, plus that incredible lip syncing, and you've got an absolute powerhouse on your hands. But look, the technical specs are only half the story. The really wild part is seeing what happens when you put a tool this powerful into the hands of millions of creative people all over the world. And it's already exploding. People are using AI agents to generate entire product ads from scratch. They're making these hilarious 15-second parodies of movies like Lord of the Rings. We're seeing clips from SpongeBob brought to life, and even recreations of famous actors with voices that are scarily accurate. The floodgates are officially open.
If this is your first shift at Waffle House, you have to fight. Y'all gonna act right or I'm closing this bitch down! Order up! If this is your first shift at Waffle House,
you think you're in control. Control? You're not.
Okay, quick pause here. If you want to keep up with this breakneck pace of AI development, and trust us, it's not slowing down, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. We'll make sure you stay in the loop. All right, let's get back to it. Now, it wasn't just video that saw a massive leap forward this week. The race for pure intelligence kicked into overdrive. Both Google and OpenAI dropped their new flagship models, and honestly, the results are pretty staggering. Okay, let's just look at the raw numbers. Google rolled out Gemini 3 Deepthink, and this isn't just a small step up. It is absolutely crushing the competition on the major benchmarks for reasoning and knowledge. It's basically setting a whole new state of the art. The key thing to understand here is that this is a major jump in raw intelligence. And we're not just talking about abstract tests either. This model is showing it can perform in some incredibly complex scientific fields. I mean, it's achieving gold medal level results on international Olympiad exams for things like physics and chemistry. This is AI operating at the highest levels of human expertise. It's wild. So not to be outdone, OpenAI fired back, but they chose to compete on a different battlefield, speed. They just released GPT 5.3 Codeex Spark. So on the left, you've got the standard, super powerful model, but on the right, you have Spark. It's the same brain, but it's strapped to a rocket engine, using these new specialized chips for unbelievably fast generation. So how fast is it really? Get this. Someone gave it a single text prompt. They said, create a beautifully designed Vampire Survivors clone that I can play in my browser. 50 seconds later, they had a working game. Not just lines of code, a fully playable game. A speed like that completely changes the nature of what's possible between a person and an AI. Now, while these giants were battling it out, another trend, and you could argue it's even more important, was speeding up. The rise of open source. The gap between those expensive, private AI models and the powerful, free ones is closing faster than ever. Just look at this, a new open source model called GLM-5. On really complex benchmarks for things like academic reasoning and software engineering, it's performing right on par with, and in some cases, even beating previous versions of GPT and Claude. What this means is that state-of-the-art AI is no longer a secret recipe locked away in a vault. And these aren't just models that are good at taking tests. One team gave GLM-5 a goal: build a working Game Boy Advance emulator. They gave it the documentation and just stepped back. For 24 hours straight, the model planned its work, wrote code, tested it, logged its own bugs, and then fixed them all by itself. It's not just a chatbot anymore, it's an agent. It's an AI that can act on its own to achieve a goal. Then you've got Miniax M2.5, another new open model. It's just as smart as the others on coding tasks, but its main goal is to absolutely crush the cost barrier. We're talking 30 cents per million input tokens, and you can think of tokens as just pieces of words. That is roughly 1/20th the cost of a comparable private model. This makes building complex AI agents suddenly affordable for pretty much everyone. So that brings up a huge question, right? When AI this powerful becomes this cheap and this accessible to anybody, the possibilities just explode. So what would you build with it? I'm serious, drop your ideas in the comments below. We'd genuinely love to hear them.
And with all this new power suddenly available, it's no surprise that the apps you use every single day are starting to change, and fast. So let's take a look at how this tech is starting to trickle down into the products we all use.
All right, rapid fire round. Meta is now letting you animate your Facebook profile picture, and you can literally talk to the Threads algorithm by starting a post with Dear Algo. ChatGPT is officially testing sponsored ads right inside your conversations. Oh, and that viral Super Bowl ad for an OpenAI wearable? Totally fake. The real device is delayed to 2027. And finally, Google Ads is integrating AI video generation, letting you create an ad from just a single product photo. So, what a week. Groundbreaking video models, whole new levels of intelligence, radical cost reductions, and a ton of new features in our apps. Let's just take a step back and try to connect all the dots. If you take away just one thing from this entire breakdown, it should be these 4 trends. AI is getting faster, smarter, cheaper, and more accessible, all at the exact same time. This isn't 4 separate stories. It's one big story about this incredible new capability being delivered to more people more quickly than ever before.
Which leaves us with one final and pretty crucial question. The pace of change we all saw this week. That's not a fluke. This is the new normal. This technology is advancing exponentially. So the real question is no longer what is coming, but are we ready for it?